and then you go out.
Okay,
That's okay.
so I think we're recording now. It should be good.
We're back.
We're back. Yes.
We're back. We made
Um,
it.
where were we
Yeah, you
after
talked about
that?
your dreams, where you went into
Yeah,
golden light, and Drunvalo started to show up more and more. I don't know
yeah.
where you were going though.
Yeah, just to briefly kind of like summarize. Um, Also in the Earth Sky Heart workshop, he does these things called mental imagery exercises or just like imagery work. Um,
Yeah, they're from Claudette, right? They're from
yeah,
the Blue
the
School.
the Blue School, or the School of Images,
Mm.
and then there's the Institute of Mental Imagery. Those are like the three only in the whole world, um, at least from what I can understand. And I got like really into it actually. There's,
Didn't she work with Catherine Scheinberg?
yep, I
Uh,
have all of her books.
oh yeah, yeah.
And then there's
Uh,
this extra one too. It's called Reversal and No Time, and that has like hundreds, if not thousands, of exercises.
yeah, insane amount.
Yeah, and they're so good too. It's incredible. It is like those books should be like covered in gold, like gold pages.
Uh,
Um, they talk about these, Catherine Chamberg talks about these five levels of dreaming, um, which I briefly want to go over because they're just so important. It brings awareness back into this subject, because most people don't know anything. But like level one, there's like three subtypes, which is like nightmare dreams, um, like busy dreams, like where you're just kind of like, trying to fix your locker from middle school and you're like busy and you just don't know what to do and you're busy. And then there's a third one, I can't remember, but it's like nightmare. It's like a very low conscious and they're like dark and they're not very pleasant. And then level two is like a clearing dream where you're like cleaning yourself somehow, or there's like a place you need to go to be cleaned or to be whole.
hmm.
And then level three is like these called a great dream, which is like kind of what I was just talking about. Like you're talking with angels, or it's like extremely vivid and beautiful, and you're communicating with these higher dimensional beings. That's like
Hmm.
level three great dream. And then the level four dream, they have these names, but I can't remember. But it's level four, and that one's just called like white dreams, or it's just like white light, you know. And then the fifth one is called like union with God, and that's where you're like the entire universe all at once in every direction. Um, so yeah, and I've had all those ones, not every day, but like the book talks about them, and those mental imagery exercises, like they make it happen, you know. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah, it's powerful. Thanks for sharing that.
yeah,
It's pretty
of
awesome.
course.
I have you experienced that with you said the mental imagery exercises make this possible. Um, I can relate that I had times where I didn't do practice before I went to sleep. Um, Often when I've been at other places, or I sleep at my partner's place, and she has a different dynamic of moving through life, right? So when I'm alone, I have phases in my life where I meditate a lot, and I uh, always meditate before sleep. And I saw like I go to different places in my dream, but also because I already worked through a lot of things from the day. And coming back to imagery, Claudette, she had a website. Um, I think closed down 4 years ago or so, but it was called Imagery Connection, and she had a lot of exercises on there, and which I really liked. Um, Imagery is just amazing. It's the same we do in
Yes.
hypnosis and in NLP, and so And definitely, mostly when I work with people, imagery is always something which is also accessing inner things. It's an
Yeah.
expression. Um, so there was this exercise called rewinding before I go to sleep. So I was
Yeah.
laying in bed
Reversing.
and then just reversing my whole day from the
Yeah.
moment I lay in bed, like backward. It doesn't have to be super accurate. It can jump a little bit, but just like to have this rewinding going on. And it helped tremendously to not dream about that. So
Yeah.
you're already like passing level 1 and 2 dreams. And this one specific dream, I just remembered when you talked about it. Um, so it started, I was in my old room here in my parents' house. And I think one of the first books I ever wrote, read, spiritual books, was I think subtle energy, massage, and yoga. And there was a chapter of from which chakras you dream when you have dreams. And you could like after I was dreaming, I was journaling, and then I was like looking what was related to it. And so root chakra dreams are like you're like in houses or like in little, more like in these things. There was the book saying. So I
Okay.
took what I could get. Anyway, I was in my little room here where I grew up, and um, my brother's best friend from his childhood was there. And I said to him, I was like, why don't you answer? Because my brother wanted for years to hang out with him again, but he kind of like not answering the contact. So he showed up in my dream. And I told him, I was like, you're gonna call him back. I was like, this guy's your best friend, and he tries to reach out to you, and because you're afraid of I don't know what, just call him back. And I held him and did some form of energy healing, and I was like telling him everything is all right. He's not gonna be a weirdo now because he he's very spiritual now and everything, right? And then I went out of the room and I went in the bathroom. And as I opened the door, Claudette was sitting there, and she had like a big case open, and she was like having this rattle, and she was like singing a song, right? A shamanic song, like a heart power song. So I was sitting next to her, and she was showing me all these objects, like um, and it was random because I didn't have anything to do with her for 2 years or so, not even looked anything up about her. So she just showed up in the stream, and she had like this cubes, this dices with different numbers. And I think it was like 16 or so. I don't remember. I have it written down somewhere. But she showed me all these objects, and once I had this object, I got like an experience, and I felt like, oh, she gave me something. So yeah, I remember that. But sometimes I had these dreams with it was ATIH teachers. I had it with Andreas. The first one, I had one important dream with Hyra, where I was driving in a car with my brother, and I didn't like him driving. I didn't like to be a passenger of his way of moving through reality, I think. So I stepped out of the car, and then Hyra came with a motorcycle, and I jumped on the back, and we like, phew, we like shoot. And then we come to a place where was a city was flooded with water, and she just like uh, she went with the motorcycle. I jump back from it, and I uh, water ski on the water. I mean, it's very Jungian psychology, right? It's like obviously I'm skiing over my emotions. So I got it, I can dance with them in the waves. And I end up in a house, and she said, "This is your spot. You're gonna go there." And I'm like, "Thanks." And I go up, and there was a whole room of people, and they were all waiting for me to put on the same dress than them, this really nice suit, and I hated it. I was like, I'm not gonna wear that. So I go upstairs and I call somebody, and I was like, give me the most colorful, awkward thing you have. And I put on this like I look like a peacock. I put on this really awkward thing, and I go into this room, and everybody's like, and I'm like, that's it. you know? And then I woke up.
Okay.
So I had
Well,
all these power dreams, which you were talking about, also.
yeah.
But then related actually to people from the ATH, um, but not necessarily people I had contact with or so. So there were certain people showing up in my dreams, a couple of times, including Drunvalo, but more like he always like he's like, I know you want me to be a grandpa, but I'm not your grandpa, like things like this, right? He was more like, please, I'm not your guide or so, He's like, I can be a friend, but because I was really, I really loved him for a while because he remembered me so much. So yeah, I think that doing those practices and be consistent with them in a way have opened different dream doors too. Uh, you know,
Do you
so
remember the chakras of I'm really interested. Do you remember like the different types of dreams you'll have in different chakras? Or just
mm,
just the house with the root chakra?
yeah, I don't remember all,
Okay.
but
You'll have to send it to me because I'm interested. If you
I
can find
gonna
it.
I think the book is in a box up there, and
Okay.
I maybe even have a journal because I had at this time I was having like a diary about all this stuff, and I wrote a whole book just about this dream thing.
Nice.
Yeah, let's check back in. Nowadays, I'm just journal if I like, and then just see what's coming up and ask some questions in my heart about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
to have some of them close by as guides, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like writing this book of dreams of the great dreams I have. I need like level 3, 4, 5 dreams I have. I write them down in this book to
Mm.
remember. Um, yeah, it's got the flower life on it. So yeah. Um, but yeah, have you ever tried doing the creation process while you're dreaming?
While I'm dreaming, I kind of feel like I'm dreaming when I do it, though.
Okay.
But in my dream,
Well, yeah, it is kind of the same thing. I think about it.
I
Yeah, you are dreaming when you
ta-da!
are in the so
But no, I don't recall like what you mean or would have said. What I do know is that the awareness in my dreams have changed. So they're those people who do like dream and sleep yoga and all of these things, or
yeah,
they're like lucid dreaming people who are like very good at it. Um, so I did for a while also those practices, and the more I did them, the more access I had to be super conscious in my dreams. So mostly I'm just like now I'm aware, I feel everything, but I also know that I'm not the experiencer. Sometimes they can uh, hell can go loose in my dream, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So it's like I'm not really like in it, um,
yeah,
um, too much attached to it. Um, I recognize this shift slowly, that I'm as conscious in my dream that during my day, not taken with or away from it. But then the quality of the dream also sometimes it's depending where I am. But I do have yeah, I think uh but I think you had a interesting dream about doing the creation process in your dream, did you?
yeah. Like a few times. Um, I mean, there's I think one or two where I like do the thing and I like open the third eye and I see this external chakra. I
Mm.
like move through it and it's just black. But I know there's this thing out here. It's only like this far away, right? But I'm just like this tiny little point, and I move through it, and I see, and I move, and there's like this golden Merkaba, like just chilling out here in complete blackness. And I connect with it, and then I have this awareness of this sphere around my head, like it just like instantly. Um, and then just like a bunch of other stuff too. Like when you have these beams of light around you, while you're dreaming, you can do things that are like so much easier. Like if you normally have um if you normally have like abilities while you're dreaming, like you can fly or you can move objects and you have these beams around, you can do them like 10 times as powerful or like way easier. Um, but yeah, honestly, I just think I need to get better at this. This is like what my life has been moving towards is the creation process, getting good at it, like really good, not just kind of like, did that happen? Maybe. Um, yeah, so it can impact my life in a big way. And
Yeah.
once I know about it, I can like teach it. Like I know I could teach it right now, but I feel like I have this block in me that I put myself that I need to like get good and like actually do it before I teach it to somebody, even if
Hmm.
that's just like a friend or like a family member or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. But I kind of think there's so much information already out there with the Earth Sky workshop,
Yeah,
and so it's already kind of public, you know.
it is like
But
public knowledge. Yeah.
unofficially, I think a little bit. So I think when Volume 3 comes out and the book is published, I think then I'm gonna start um, be open to teach it to people because I can refer to something solid, like it's openly, officially published by him through Volume 3, the ATIH stuff. Then I feel like, I also feel there's a movement happening. So when I talk with M Point, another uh, uh, a man I know, he works with the teachers together, and he created a new website and is also on the calls with Drunvalo. They're still happening, which is nice. The teachings are still alive. There are new downloads happening, and it just continues. That's also what I really like about it.
Yeah.
Um, the He said that there might be something new forming since the School of Remembering is not there anymore. Um, let's see. That would be awesome. It's
Yeah.
also what I'm most enthusiastic about. I'm every day since probably 6 years or so. This is getting better at that, understanding it more, and also coming back to the foundations. And what I also do is I talk with people about it. Like I search out, or my heart searches out people who can assist me with that. For a while was Hira, a beautiful teacher. Um, and then we had this encounter in Egypt when we actually met together, and we were like, "Wow, we outgrow our teacher-student relationship. It's just I have nothing to teach you, right? And let's just be friends." And then other people came in my life who could um, give me a different insight. But most of it I had to also learn myself. Because in this realm of inner experience, there's only so much somebody from the outside can tell you. They give you hints or how their experience has been. But obviously, how I move or what blocks or obstacles are there, so it's totally determined by my perception of reality or my level of consciousness in this sense. Um, yeah,
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. There was something I was gonna say, but I forgot. Um, yeah, it's a kind of a simple meditation, right? It's not incredibly complex. It's just getting like good at it. Um, and I was gonna say I worked on like the neurofeedback of it a little bit. Do you do you remember that at all? Did I mention that to you?
we talked about it. Yeah, you talked about the muse, I think.
Yeah, the Muse headband. Um,
And yeah.
and I built these apps to like measure the alpha brain waves.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, I was gonna talk about this little technique. So um, it's just a simple little thing, but I think it really helps. Um, it's the alternate nostril breathing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean
So
to activate the right or left brain, or both together? You
it's
mean
just
this?
like to clean the channels, you know?
Sure. Yeah, you can do
And
that. Yeah,
you just do this thing.
yeah,
Um, yeah. Surfer man.
yeah.
But you can do the prana tube breathing at the same time as the alternate nostril breathing. Um, and
Say
that
this
is
again.
so you do the alternate nostril breathing at the
Yeah.
same time as the prana tube breathing.
Oh yeah.
It like alternates and works out because on the inhale, the prana tube breathing is just an inhale and an exhale, and then you do that again and again. And the alternate nostril breathing, it's like inhale, exhale, and then it loops again.
Mm.
So it does like all the different variations. Um, yeah, and that can like lead to the getting that the light, the inner light in the brain, which I found. Yeah.
You should do a guided meditation on that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, were there the science of the body, which basically, a lot of like traditions have written down a lot about this, like the mechanics of consciousness, how it moves through the body. Then you have like pranayama and all of those things. And what I like, it's also applicable. It's also you can it's understandable. There's like this definition of something which has been a little vague before. And I find through this teachings it's like accessible, not only um, uh, in a female intuitive way, but also it's like tangible. I can grab it with my mind and intellect, and I can like,
Yeah,
wow, okay, oh, that this is actually how it works, like 90-degree turns, octaves, nice, and I can
yeah,
understand it with the music and with the notes and how like this dimension levels exist. It's cool. Uh, you know, my partner, she's like, wow, it's so, it's right.
it just goes right over.
She's like, I don't need all of that,
Yeah,
right? But um, it's a brilliant way. Uh,
yeah. I definitely prefer like the using the internal energies opposed to doing something like this, you know, like
mm,
because
yeah,
this is just like so much more harder for my brain to do.
it's true. That I remember
Yeah.
years ago, my bro and me. So my bro, he we kind of woke up at the same time, like around 2016, 2017,
Well,
and then um, we started having dreams with each other, and we wake up in the morning, and I call him, and he was living, I think, in Romania at this time, and I'm like, dude, what happened this night? And he was like, and then he tells me the exact same dream just from his perspective. Like
wow.
we have been at the same place, but I was seeing him and he was seeing me. And then there was also his partner at this time with us. And we all three had like this thing going on. It was like we have the same dreams, the same stuff is happening. We get the same messages and we all remember it. The same when my grandma died on my first ATIH. Just on the day when we went into the heart for the first time. And in the night, my grandma comes to me and she's like, "Hey, it's me. I'm dead." And I'm like, "Holy shit, grandma, really?" So I wake up and
Wow.
I'm crying and I'm weeping. And my dad calls and I knew what he's gonna say, right? And I go to this workshop and I tell the teacher about it. It's like my grandma just died, and he's like, "So," I was like, "I think it's a miracle," and I didn't know what to do with it. So I go in this meditation, and then my grandma stands in front of my heart and she pulls me in. She's like, "Let's go." And and I'm like, wow, that was like so intense. But then I called my brother the same evening, and I said to him, I just light a candle and I prayed to my grandma and bless her. And I saw this image of her when she was like in his 30s with this curly hair. And Nicholas, my brother, he's like, oh my God, I saw the same image when I lit the candle for her because I'm sitting on my balcony also right now. And we did the same thing at the same time until the same image of my grandma. And like all of these things kept on happening until we understood that we have linked into some synchronotron matrix, where everything
Yeah.
is like uh, just like and it was super new and exciting, and now it's like normal. But it's been it's been just all of that. There have been just way too much synchronicities to even so my mind couldn't even go in and say like, okay, that's all goat, shit. And
Yeah.
it's all bull, and you're just making it up, and it was just way too intense to do that. Um, and you talked about the prana breathing, and I think it's maybe um, it seems to be something aside, a means to get to somewhere, but I think this is one of the most important things people learn in this workshop is to start breathing through the prana tube again, and not
100%.
through the outside, and all this light coming through, through your third eye, and so it makes it wider automatically. And even without your beings being expanded, my partner, she does aikido for 25 years, and aikido is an inner martial art, 100%, and they work with the torus fields and with energy and
Wow.
everything, but they talk about the prana tube a lot, and they do a lot of practices with them, so they understand them to be a living prana tube, basically. They're like, this is our center, and from there we move and we get the energies, and like they have crazy exercises where they like close their eyes and they can feel you. They can, because they work with the torus fields, right? And yeah, HeartMath has measured them all out, which is also cool. Like, again, tangible proof. But yeah, this breathing through the prana tube, this original way of breathing, and I started doing it all the time. Like whenever I wanted to stay focused in the now, I just was breathing from above and below into the heart and out again.
Yeah.
And I still kind of thought I have to pull it in, right? Um, it took me a couple of years until I realized this flow is automatic. I don't have to
Okay.
do anything for it. I don't have to pull it in. It's flowing. I could accept it, that it's there all the time, and then I could like just direct the flow, and it got a little more easier, because
Nice.
it's already there and it's building up this sphere around
Yeah.
the heart. It's incredible information, man. It's just um, it's just brilliant. So,
Yeah.
but you were talking about the alpha brainwaves and that you wrote programs for the Muse headband. Um, did you use the Tantra of the Heart then, to get the um, alpha brainwaves activated? Or
Yeah. That was a while ago, maybe a few years. I've kind of put that project on hold, um, just from my inner guidance telling me to do that. But yes, it takes a bit of practice. It takes like an intensive like 1 week, multiple hours a day to like make significant um improvements to your baseline alpha waves. Um, but yeah, I found that it is a mix of alpha and theta brainwaves. And I even contacted BioCybernaut. They're like, yes, it's alpha and theta with the halo brainwaves. Um,
mm,
and um, yeah, I mean, I made apps for doing like delta, theta, alpha, all the frequencies and different like front and back ratios as well with different sounds. You can like load up any sound you want. Um, yeah. So uh, I think there will probably be a link somewhere if you're watching this and want to check that out in the description or somewhere. Um, but also I wanted to talk about this another quick meditation I kind of had fun with, and I don't know if I invented it or it was always there, but the unity breath, right? It's like a simple, like it's essential for this work, especially if you're just starting out. You like send love to Mother Earth, she sends it back, then you send to Mother Sky in whichever way you prefer. Then he sends it back, and then you send love to yourself, and then you have this vibration inside of you. And over time, it gets very real. Like you you do A, B, and C, and boom, you have this vibration in you. Uh, but I found that you can actually just have fun with it and just keep going. You just Mother Earth, Father Sky, and you do it on the exhale. So like you feel the love, and then you exhale down to Earth, and then on the inhale you receive the love, and then halfway through that, like as you're about to inhale, and when you're inhaling halfway, then you switch to the Father Sky and switch your attention and intention to send love to him. And then the exhale, you send it up to Father Sky. And then on the inhale, you you receive the love, and then halfway through that, and then the exhale, halfway through that, this is complex. Halfway through that, you switch your attention down to Mother Earth,
Yeah.
and then the exhale, you send it to Mother Earth, and then you just keep doing that. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
It does totally make sense.
Okay.
I I somebody once told me, I don't know, maybe it was Hiro, she always said like, remember the tantric connection between them, and then every time I connected to both, I felt like they both are gonna have a communication that was through me, and it's like whoosh, 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 whoosh. And
Yeah.
they were sending back and forth the energies, and um, it's really nice you mentioned this because this became one of my primary meditations, which I would do every day. And not as a means to go into the sacred space, but just as a meditation. I would just connect. And sometimes it was really weird because in the beginning, when I sent my love to Mother Earth, I was like, I feel a little tired right now and not really in love. And, I'm not even grateful. I'm just happy I breathe, So,
Yeah.
and I had these moments in my life where I had challenges, and I'm like, it's all I can give you. I'm sorry, right? So I hope it's love and whatever. So, and then I just relaxed more. I was like, well, that's all I can give you. So I just sent love, and then sometimes it took a long time for something to come back. I was like, duh. And I'm like, did I send it right? And then it takes like 5, 6 seconds, which can be an eternity if you're already sitting in meditation. And then it comes back slowly, and I feel it, and the I I felt, and this was right in the beginning. I can talk like years ago. Um, and I felt like parts of me couldn't really accept this love, didn't feel worth enough. And it's just something which showed up also with other people I talked to. And I found out later, the more I worked with my with shadow work, very important, shadow work, because it puts down the resistance within you. You just become a more pure channel if you do that, right? It's like U is R times E, right? It's like simply electric engineering.
Yeah.
But it's like if the resistance is low, just the current can go. And this is shadow work basically. But I felt like it had to do with my mom, right? I'm like somebody who always talked with my best friend about our moms, and we were hanging out, uh, and we were cracking jokes. We're like, so we're gonna talk about our moms today again. So kind of, I had this relationship in my childhood. So I developed this love with Mother Earth, and it took a while. But Father Sky, instant. It was like because I loved the
Wow.
universe and everything around it. It was like bomb, skyrocket there. Like the big presence.
That's actually the
And
opposite for me, but continue.
yeah, it's and yes. So sometimes when I can also check in. Sometimes I sit down and the connection is instant, and sometimes it takes 2 seconds, 1 second, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you see, I haven't been really aligned. I was somewhere else, or super mindy, or doing stuff, and I can also see a little bit. It, it creates a balance and a shift, but
Yeah.
through this bringing love to yourself too, it's really working for me. It was really like this family constellation healing dynamic whenever I did the unity breath. And I had blissful samadhi experiences with it. One time, just one time I share what I was hiking with my brother in France, uh, um, and I was sitting at this beautiful lake, and I always had this 9 minutes audio downloaded on my phone from Drunvalo. and I just put it on my ears and I blissed out. I totally blissed out in like this golden light, and I was just beaming there. And then half an hour later or so, I don't remember, my brother, he just like sat next to me and he said like I couldn't move. You looked like a Buddha, no? He was like, this was intense. What did you do? And I just had a samadhi experience with the unity breath. Um, and I found out you can use it always as like this means to get into the sacred space, the means to go somewhere. But if you actually work with it, it's powerful. It
Hmm.
can even be a healing modality in itself, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you were talking about. It seems also simple, and after the workshop, you're like, "Oh, we learned some meditations," but then if you stick with them, you realize the deeper and deeper meaning behind it and why so many indigenous folks are doing it every time before they connect, every time they go in a forest and they put a stone circle or whatever. Always this unity connection with the three,
Yes.
with this trinity. Yeah, most powerful
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. I found, I was just gonna say, oh, it looks like we're running out of time. It's okay though. I'll be quick and then we can do another one. Um, if you keep doing the breath that I was talking about, or just the unity breath, it doesn't have to be each inhale and exhale exactly. Um, I
Oh,
found that,
you mean the you breathe mother in and send it into the father and back, kind of
yeah,
what you said, right? Half in and then
yeah, yeah.
shift your focus and attention. Yeah, yeah.
I found that you get like this really like almost steel kind of energy inside of you. I think it's a certain type of prana. It's like very dense in a good way, like very high concentration prana.
Mhm.
Um, and like it makes you feel like stone, like like really strong. And I
Mhm.
remember reading a Matak Chia book about that, and that's like level 11 or 12 level prana, um, where you feel like you can just like nobody could move you if they tried. Um, and that happened with the unity breath, you know? It's not like some advanced Eastern chanting microcosmic orbit thing. It's just like the simple, good old unity breath. um,
The spiritual mixed martial arts.
yeah, it's like I think it's we're gonna. I think someone said it's like Western qigong. I think Drunvalo said that, and it is like the prana tube and the unity breath is like seriously powerful stuff. Okay,
It
we're gonna
is,
take
yeah.
a brief intermission here, and
Yeah.
I'll send you a new link.
Yeah.
All right.